Welcome, Veritas family. Thank you so much for joining us on Give and Take. I'm Sherry Davis, and today, as our guest, we have Dr. Matt Beemer. Hey, Matt, how are you?
Doing well. How are you, Sherry?
Doing great. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Yeah.
As always, if you're watching live or in replay, tell us where you're watching from and how you might know Dr. Beemer. He comes to us from several other institutions prior, and so you might know him from some of those. Dr. Beemer, tell us where you are located currently.
So I live in Jacksonville, Florida. I'm way up on the northeast coast, just south of Georgia, actually,
And so
where
you are
today, right now, it is
enjoying,
82 degrees.
I was going to say, you're enjoying nice spring weather when most of
No,
us
it's hot. It's not spring. It's hot.
I guess you're right. That 80 probably is pretty hot. Most of us, at least on our team, is experiencing cold, rainy weather, not spring-like at all. So we are under, I think some of our team is having actual water damage in their basement.
Uh,
So they're not feeling quite the spring fever yet. So,
well, we've been in the 90-degree range for the last couple of days, and it's
wow.
just too soon. But
Yeah.
it's nice in January and February. It's just a little too soon to get that hot.
Yeah, because that does not bode well for the summer now, does it?
No.
All right. Well, very good. So we are going to jump right in. Tell us your VBC origin story. We like to ask all of our new guests how they came to be a part of the Veritas family.
So it's not very complicated.
Mhm,
I was serving at another institution and I was a commissioner for TRACS, the accrediting body that accredits Veritas.
mhm,
And so I served on the commission with Dean Rill. And I've known Ann for a number of years. I actually kind of worked with her brother for a while. And I also know Dr. Penny Edmonds and Dr. John Edmonds.
mhm,
I've known them for years as well. And I can't remember what prompted it, but I think one day in a commission meeting we were just talking, and I said to Ann, I may have actually said it to Penny first. I don't remember. I'm old. Um, but I just said, hey, I have developed my PhD is in communications, and I have developed an online speech course, and I think somehow I became aware that Veritas didn't have anyone teaching speech. They were sending the
mhm,
students to another source.
mhm.
And I said, if you are ever interested, let me know. I would be interested in developing the course and putting it out there to teach fundamentals of speech. And I think Penny ran it by Ann, or Ann ran it by Penny, and they reached out to me. And as they say, the rest is history. So I've been teaching now for, boy, 4 years maybe.
Yeah, that's fun. So we actually I was at Pensacola when you were the academic dean. So while you didn't know me, I knew you from when was that, 30 years ago, something like that?
Very long time ago.
Yes,
Yeah.
good long
Yeah.
while. So, and we've served on Track's team visits together, not as much as our schedule will allow, unfortunately, which is a bit of a bummer, but as often as possible when we can serve together, it's always a lot of fun. So, um, tell us if you have any tips or resources or advice for the students that might be watching either live or in replay.
Yeah. So, you asked me that question, and I thought about that. I think every course is going to be a little bit different, obviously, depending on how it's structured and how the material's delivered and assignment type of structure. But um, I tend to see one of two mistakes maybe that I see students frequently fall into when it comes to completing an online course. When courses are 8 weeks, they move really quickly, obviously,
Right.
overall. But I see one or two things. I see students who, the day that the module opens, rush to get everything done,
Hmm.
and all they're doing is checking off assignments. And they want to do the reading, they want to do the video, the lectures, they want to do a discussion forum, they want to do whatever, and get it all done on the first day. And then I see students who wait until 11 p.m. on Sunday evening and want to try to get everything turned in
You
then.
don't say.
Yeah. I don't think either one of those is a really good academic strategy to get the most
Sure.
out of your class.
Right.
Education is a building experience. And so instructors design the course so that the elements feed into each other. So if you take my course, for example, I have reading assignments, and then I have lectures, and then I have performance assignments. Depending on the course, I might have a discussion forum. I don't do a lot of discussion forums because it's speech.
Mhm.
But really, to get the most out of it, you need to read the material and kind of, my mom would say, cogitate on it, think about it, and let that kind of sink in, and then watch the videos, because oftentimes the lectures are keyed into the reading, and then
Right.
work on the assignment. But when I see
Mhm.
students either try to get those out of order, I see students who try to work on an assignment before they've gotten the lecture on how to do it, or they just try to do it all in one day. And
Yeah.
they may check it off, but they're not getting the most out of their education. Same thing happens if you're really rushing at the end of the week. You may technically get all of the assignments in, you're just not getting the full benefit of the instruction. And
Yeah,
even though
yeah.
it's a
I mean,
week
you
long,
as online instructors have curated what that week looks like on purpose, intentionally, and to
right?
bypass any of those steps, it's actually shooting themselves in the foot. Leah Burwell is watching from Virginia. She says, "I was in Dr. Beamer's class. I was the one who spoke incredibly soft. I'm sorry. I'm
Yeah.
still working on that. LOL." We've got Dave Anderson watching from Twin Cities, Minnesota, and Ann watching from Florence, Kentucky. So that's funny. Thanks for popping in, Leah. That's funny.
It's really interesting. People get surprised that I teach speech online, and they're like, how do you do that?
Sure.
And it's interesting. The students have to submit videos, and but I think it works.
I think
For
it
a lot of
works. And I think it,
students,
yeah, I think it has to go that way. I think you have to be innovative and creative in an online environment just moving forward.
I have friends who teach music lessons online now, which just
Mhm.
kind of blows my mind. But
Yeah.
it's speech is probably the most dreaded class in the curriculum. I mean,
How
if
do you feel
students,
being the teacher of the most dreaded class in the curriculum?
I love it. I love it because I like to see students who hopefully by the end of the course say, you know what? This wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. And
Right.
and and quite frankly, there are students who do much better in an online environment than they would do in front of a class of 15 or 20 students who are live with
That's
eyes
true.
on and that kind of thing. So
Yeah, that's
there
a
are
good
some
point.
benefits to it. You don't get the immediate feedback that you get when
Sure.
you're in a live class, but we try to make it as interactive as possible. So I think
Right.
it works.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. That's really good. And the idea of having students who are procrastinators, which is going to happen no matter what class, no matter what, how, what age, what demographic, there's always those. But to your point, those who are just jumping in to check a box, I probably fell in both categories at any given time.
Mhm.
I'm a procrastinator par excellence, but I was also one that was like, let me just check the box and get it over with without regard to the actual education. And
Right.
that's a disservice to the student, to the program. You really, you don't get the benefit of really the instructor's expertise and the way that they've curated the class and your own level of education. So that's a really good point to bring up. Um, we have all different, at Veritas, lots of different types of students. We've got traditional age college
Mhm.
students. We've got non-traditional age college students, those working full-time in ministry, those as lay people, just really all the demographics, which is not uncommon for our faith-based institutions that I know that you
Right.
work with. But each one of them has their own proclivity and the way that they attack classes, and speech in particular, like you said, it can be one of the most dreaded. Dare I say the other most dreaded? Penny was on last week. I think probably English or
Yeah.
composition is likely the other dreaded class. But those are so fundamental, so they just fall under communications, and it is so, so, so important to learn to communicate. And
Well,
no one is exempt.
if you think about it, so much of what we do vocationally and so much of what we do for the Lord involves oral communication. And
Right.
so, there are very, very, very few jobs in this world that don't require someone to be a good oral communicator or a good written
Right.
communicator.
Mhm.
And particularly if you look at the programs at Veritas, well, think about being a pastor that can't communicate. Think
Right.
about being a teacher that can't communicate. I
Hmm.
mean, even being a businessman that cannot communicate well, you are at a great disadvantage.
Yeah.
And so while I just barely touch the subject and we just begin to introduce um, principles and concepts, it really is a fundamental course. When you combine it with the English
Hmm.
that lays the foundation, and I don't think a lot of students realize that. I don't think they
Right.
realize how important it's going to be for their vocation down the road.
Right. Good point. Yeah. When you were in your undergrad, or what shaped you or guided you into the communications realm? What was it that you thought, yeah, this is my space?
So uh, that's kind of interesting you asking that question. You know what my undergraduate degree is in?
Mm, no.
Computer science.
Oh my word, that's so funny because Penny said that she started in computer science as well, and she abandoned it real quick.
I didn't start in computer science. You know what I started in?
Huh.
I started in piano.
Oh, really?
I was a piano major when I went to college, and my first day they told me I had to practice 20 hours a week, and I said, no, that's not going to happen.
You said not for me.
So I switched to business, and the college was just starting a computer science major that spring. I switched to computer science. So I have a 4-year degree in computer science, which,
Wow.
by the way, has helped me tremendously in what I do, even though I don't
Oh,
actually work in that field.
sure.
But I always was active in drama and speech.
Yeah.
I participated in contests. I was in plays and musicals, so I've always loved performing.
Hmm.
And when I was approaching my senior year, the college asked me to stay on as a grad assistant, get a master's degree in speech, with the idea of staying on, eventually getting a PhD, becoming overseeing the communications department, that kind of thing. So that's really I kind of came about it a little bit different way,
Got it.
but I've always enjoyed the performance aspect of it.
Got
So
it.
that's kind
So
of how
how
I
did
got
you,
there.
so if you started, so it's boggling my mind because computer science is so, I mean, just the opposite end of the spectrum with anything performance. Usually, and even the type of people that choose those fields are just two different type of people. So how did you end up in one and then the other?
Um, that's a good question. I don't know that I have a good answer for that.
Okay.
I think here's what I would say. I'm very much like a typical college freshman coming just out of high school. I'd
Okay.
not been exposed to a lot of things. I didn't know what options were out there.
Yep.
I read a statistic just a week or two ago that the typical freshman changes their major like 3 times.
Yeah.
And I think that's what the freshman year is for, get exposed to different things.
Yeah.
The vast majority of graduates do not work in the field of their degree.
Yes.
And that's fine because so much of the undergraduate degree training is just about learning how to deal with life.
Right. Yeah.
And so like I said, I have a computer science degree. I taught computer science for a while,
Okay.
and that has helped me not in that I can sit down at a computer and program today, but the logic that has to go into play, the thinking, the planning, the outlining, the strategy, all of that has helped me in what I've done for the last 40 years.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really good. Denny Hastings in Antigua says, good to see Dr. Beemer. I'm assuming you guys had a class or at some point together, so that's fun.
We did.
Uh,
Interesting fact, my father-in-law used to serve as a missionary with Antigua.
no
So
way.
not
How
not with
fun.
the island group. So he'd been there. So that was one of his favorite islands. So
Oh, fun. Okay, very good. So Denny's graduating with his master's degree coming up to Fredericksburg. So we invite, of course, anybody who's watching to come and celebrate our class of 2025. If you're in the area, if you're not in the area, our actual graduation is hosted in Fredericksburg, Virginia, which is just an hour south of DC, which means you could plan a whole weekend, be here together, celebrate the group, and then go and do and have a big old time in DC if you wanted to. So if you're watching this and you need more information, then reach out to us and we'll get you all squared away. All right, let's launch into our schmores. Now, if you'll remember, schmores is the Mount Rushmore of any given category, so the top four of any given category. Dr. Beamer's category this week is top four beverages. We did want to say that everything is, above board, no alcohol. We're not, we'll talk about that later. You guys decide how you feel about that, but we are doing our top four um, beverages. So we're going to let our guests go first. What is your number one?
I don't drink it anymore, but I would say probably my number one is Southern sweet tea.
Yeah. So you're combining them. You're doing them as one lump thing.
Well, I don't know. How can you separate those?
Soda and sweet tea. Well, they're two
No, no,
different
no.
things.
Southern
Oh,
sweet tea.
Southern. I thought you said soda.
No,
Southern. Oh, yeah, for sure. Okay. I'm glad we clarified because I had it wrong here. Southern sweet tea. I know. You and I both. I think we're probably gonna, well, we'll see. Because
especially
I,
if you have a McAllister's Deli near you.
yeah, we do.
McAllister's Deli has the best Southern sweet tea.
They're
Put a little
definitely
shot
good.
of peach in there, and it's just really good.
Oh, that does sound good. That's really good. All right, I'm going classic, just water. I know it's boring, but I do just a nice, refreshing glass of cold water, or, if you're hot or whatever. I know that's boring, but I'm going with it. I'm going with water.
I had that on my list too.
Okay, well, then you have to scratch it off since
I've got to
it's on
come up
my
with
list.
another one.
So,
Oh,
you got to think of something else. All right, what's your
okay.
number two?
A Chick-fil-A peppermint milkshake.
Oh, okay. Tell me about this. I've never had one.
Oh my word. Do you have Chick-fil-A where you're at?
Yeah, yes.
They're only available around Christmas time, and it's a milkshake that has crushed peppermint in it.
Like actual, like candy? Like,
Like candy cane, yeah.
oh,
And it's in there and it's got chocolate chunks and peppermint chunks. It's a chocolate peppermint milkshake
chocolate.
from Chick-fil-A.
Mm. And it's only at Christmas time.
It's only at Christmas time.
And you don't care. You're no respecter of it being cold at Christmas. Well, of course, you're in Jacksonville. It's probably not super
Yeah.
cold at Christmas time anyway. So milkshakes all season long for you guys, right?
Yep.
All right. My number two, I don't know if I can say tea because you already said tea, although I would be specifically unsweet tea. All right, I'm saying unsweet tea. It's never gonna win. Your list is gonna be 1,000% better than mine because mine is super boring. I don't drink a lot of that. I don't drink a lot of the good stuff anymore. So my number two is unsweet tea. Boring, I know. I do like to sweeten it with monk fruit drops. I found these on Amazon, and it's a monk fruit is a sugar alternative. Everybody has different varying opinions about what is healthy as far as sweeteners and this and that, but it's one I like. It tastes really good. I can travel with it, put it in my bag, take it with me. So it does sweeten it a little bit.
Well, I
Uh,
don't drink sweet tea anymore just because of health issues, but
yeah,
so I drink a lot of unsweet tea, but
yeah.
if I had my druthers, it would be sweet tea.
I know. And if I go back to what I used to drink, boy, there was just so many things I could have added, like these punches at Christmas parties, different ones that were so delicious that I haven't had in years and years, but they were very good. All right, what is your number three?
Diet Dr. Pepper.
Okay. Straight, no flavors, like no vanilla, no cherry, just
Well, I do like there's a strawberry vanilla option for it, but I just out of the case a bottle of Diet Dr. Pepper
yeah.
that's really cold or Dr. Pepper Zero, same thing, idea,
Okay.
but yeah,
How do you feel about can versus bottle versus fountain? Where does it rank for you?
ugh, I never get cans because
Right?
it's not enough.
Okay,
Um,
enough. I don't like the way
I
it tastes.
mean, ease of travel is obviously got to be a bottle where you can put the lid back on.
Sure.
Um, but if I'm near a place that has the big foam cups with the chewy ice, I'll get a
Yeah.
cup.
Yeah. So you would say best flavor if you had top, choice, it would be in the styrofoam cup with the good ice. That's number one. Then bottle would be number two. Then can would be last.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I would agree. Anybody else, if you're listening to this, if you disagree with that, tell us. You would be wrong, but feel free to disagree with us. All right. My number three is again, this is because I don't drink a lot of this stuff anymore, but I have come to love Spindrifts. Have you heard of those?
Mhm.
They're sparkling waters, but it actually has real fruit in it. So it's not doesn't have a lot of sugar, no additives. It's whatever but it has the real fruit flavor. So it's not as yucky as just straight sparkling water, which I wouldn't touch. I don't love that. I had a really difficult time even transitioning because when I stopped drinking sodas and stopped drinking sugary drinks, there's not that many options. And so there everybody's like, just start the sparkling water. And I couldn't do it. It was just, it wasn't for me. But somebody turned me on to Spindrift, which was a nice hybrid, right? It gives you the carbonation that sometimes you do miss. And it's paired with real fruits in there, not a lot because it's not very sugary, but it is just enough to kind of give you that what you're missing, what you feel like you're missing out, when you switch from those kinds of drinks.
I was just at an institution where the president had a cooler in his office and he had Spindrift in there. And he
Yeah.
let the team members go in and get one if they wanted it, and they
Oh,
did.
really?
So,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
you're real open about it if you want to share it. Most people don't like it. You have to have it's an acquired taste, but it is a step up from the actual just sparkling water, I think. So, all right. What is your, or did I say, yeah, what's your number four?
Well, I had to change because I had water.
Yeah.
So I haven't had one of these in a long time, but they're so good. And most people may not understand this. It's a Sonic Ocean water.
Oh, okay. I was going to say a Sonic drink too, but I haven't had ocean water. Tell me about that.
So Sonic Ocean water is for a long time I wouldn't try it because I just had this vision that it was going to be salty. And it's not. It's blue, so I
Yeah.
guess that's why they call it ocean water. And I think the flavor is coconut.
Okay.
Um, it's real light though. It's like if it's really, really hot out and you don't want a heavy drink, it's very light, very refreshing. Um, and you
But
get
it's
it
not
at
like a
Sonic.
Gatorade. It's not salty.
No,
Okay.
no,
All right.
no, no.
I'll
It's a
have to,
soda. I mean, unfortunately, it's a
oh,
soda.
got it.
They do have a diet version.
Okay.
But it's just a light, refreshing taste. And it's
So you did not mention any coffee. I was surprised not to hear coffee.
I'm I drink coffee, but I'm not like my kids are coffee aficionados and they'll go
Okay.
down and they'll get a double latte with 2 shots of espresso and a pumpkin latte, and that's not me. I mean,
Yeah.
I'll drink it, but they're just too sweet oftentimes.
Okay. Yes.
So in the morning I have a cup of coffee with sugar-free creamer, and
Yeah.
that's it.
So I don't drink coffee at all. So that's why it didn't make it on my list.
Oh,
And Leah says tonic water is also a good replacement for soda. It's fizzy and has a grapefruit taste. Yeah. So Leah, what's interesting that you say, because the Spindrift flavor that I like the most is grapefruit because um no surprise here. I have opinions about everything, but the Spindrift grapefruit flavor tastes the most like the grapefruit. You know how because grapefruit is already a little bit bitter, has a little bit of sweetness, but it's mostly just its own flavor. When I'm tasting other spindrifts and I want it or other things, I keep wanting it to be sweeter. I keep wanting it to be like a strawberry or to be like its natural flavor. And it's not that. It's very light. It's
hmm.
very, it's just not as intense. And so grapefruit is actually the most similar to what your brain is expecting with some fizz. So it works out perfectly. So I'll have to try
Now
that out, Leah.
that's she said tonic water.
Tonic water.
See, I tonic water to me is bitter.
Oh,
Because I mean I drink tonic water with quinine because probably more than you want to know. I'm a cyclist, and if I
okay.
cycle too long, I can get muscle cramps. And
Yeah.
tonic water with quinine will relieve muscle cramps. If you get leg
Oh,
cramps, drink
okay.
some tonic water or
Okay.
pickle juice.
Oh, yeah. I love a
I
pickle
gotta
juice.
put pickle juice on my list. I
Right?
should.
We should have put on there. Yeah. I 100% drink it right out of the jar.
Pickle juice is really good, but
Yes, it is.
so
I
yeah,
actually
tonic water.
pour a little bit of when we have diced jalapenos always, and whenever I'm done with that juice, I'll pour a little bit in my
Ooh,
pickle juice, so it's a little spicy too.
there you
Yeah.
go.
I actually use that as a fasting aid. So those of you who care, again, more than you may want to know, but I fast occasionally, at least once a week, sometimes more. And on my fasting days, I will chug a good chunk, a bit of pickle juice. So that's interesting that you bring that up. I was gonna say my Sonic drink when I was actually in college, there was a Sonic right there by the college, and when we didn't have a Sonic here in Fredericksburg at the time, we would always go and get lemon berry fresh fruit slushies, which were very
Mm.
delicious. It was actual strawberries and lemons in there with whatever syrups and things like that. But they do their happy hour from like 2 to 5, and so when we get out of class, we'd head over to the Sonic right there by college and grab it was like for $1 or something like that. It was all we could afford, but I did like that when we were younger.
They also used to do a happy hour with their milkshakes, which was deadly. So, I mean. Again, those are former days for me. I don't do that
Yeah, you
anymore.
partook. Yeah, I understand for sure. That's why I feel like these lists for me are like what in my younger days what I would have done, but now it's really boring. I stick mostly to tea and water and some of these others I dabble in. But some of
Yeah.
my honorable mentions I wrote down though was hot
Water.
cocoa because
Uh-huh.
I can do a sugar-free version of that around Christmas time. I can make a good hot cocoa. I like a vanilla Dr. Pepper, Diet Dr. Pepper.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, I don't even think I gave you my number four. My number four would be Diet Coke. When I was drinking sodas, I loved a good Diet Coke. And to be honest with you, this is interesting too. Um, I gave up a lot of things when like a lot of foods just for health reasons, right? Over time. And then when I gave up, and so later on I gave up soda. I decided that was not going to be part of my goal strategy, and so I gave that up. And that has been the hardest thing to, and it's the thing that kind of haunts me even more. So years have gone by where I haven't had breads and pastas and fries and things like that. But when I'll see an ad with the bubbling and things like that, that is really what I mean. I can actually taste it. I can actually remember it. That's what brings back to memory so much more quickly than some of these other things, which is
Very
I guess.
successful advertising.
Oh yeah, and I think it goes to show how addictive it is. Either the real thing or the diet version. People are just straight up addicted. I know I was.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's my number four. Okay, so I have your number one is Southern Sweet Tea. Number two is Chick-fil-A's Chocolate Peppermint Milkshake. Number three, Diet Dr. Pepper. Number four, Sonic Ocean Water. And mine are water, unsweet tea, Spindrift, and Diet Coke, with a couple of honorable mentions with hot chocolate and some ciders in the fall time. But we will get this posted. Thanks so much for joining us today. We've had a lot of fun. It was great catching up with you. Thanks so much for making time and hopping on here for a little while. And thank you guys for watching. If you're live or in replay, thanks so much for joining us. And we will see you next Monday.